Hello, welcome to Verbling. My name's Joe, and today we're going to be going over some more grammar, specifically adjective clauses. So we're going to wait for some people to join. Hey guys. Vivian, Boris, you guys are back. Oh, Jorge. Nice to see you guys again. So we're just going to wait for some more people to join. Okay. So it looks like we have almost a full class, so we'll get started. So, hi guys, my name's Joe. I'm from Arizona in the United States. It's over by California, also near Mexico. And today we're going to be going over adjective clauses. So we're going to focus on that today. We're going to go over a presentation, and then we're going to go over a quiz to make sure that you guys understood it well. But before we do that, I'd just like everybody to introduce themselves real quick by saying your name, your country, and your favorite drink. So I'll go first. My name is Joe. I'm from the United States, Arizona, and my favorite drink is orange juice. So we'll start with Ahmad.
Hello, my name is Ahmed. I am from Saudi Arabia. My favorite juice is grape.
Grape juice. Okay, awesome. Welcome. Amir. Amir Rezek. Are you there? Okay, maybe he or she is getting their microphone ready. Boris, nice to see you again.
Hi, my name is Boris. I'm from Ecuador. My favorite drink is the orange juice.
Orange juice, cool. All right,
Yeah.
we got that in common. Cool. Carlos?
Hello, teacher. My name is Charles. I'm from Colombia. My favorite juice is.
Your favorite?
My favorite juice is mango juice.
Mango juice. Oh, mango juice is really good. I like mango juice. Cool. Carlos? Another Carlos? Or Carls?
Hi, my name is Andres. I'm from Colombia. My favorite juice is I'm not sure how to say this in English, but it's guanabana. Have you ever heard this? Guanabana. It's a kind of fruit. It's a white fruit. Guanabana.
Guanabana.
It's a tropical fruit, but I don't know.
Guarana. You mean guarana?
It is different, guarana and guanabana.
I think it's different. I don't know how to say that in English. Well, that's my favorite juice.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've heard of that.
I think you should try it with milk. It's
with milk?
Yeah, it tastes good with milk.
Huh, do you know if they sell it or if they have it in Argentina?
No.
You don't know? Okay. Alright, well, I'll see. Maybe I can try it.
Okay.
Cool. Alright, Jorge, nice to see you again.
Thanks. My name is Jorge. I'm from Colombia, and my favorite drink is Pepsi.
Pepsi. Okay. Cool. Pepsi's good.
Pepsi's juice.
Well, the question was favorite drink, but
okay.
Most people have answered juice. Yeah, so juice or drink, either one. Cool. Mine? Is that how you pronounce it? Mine? Okay, maybe she's
Shy.
fixing
Maybe
her.
she's shy.
Maybe she's shy, yeah, that too. Motas?
Yeah, hey Joe.
Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you again.
I don't have a favorite, but I like mango juice.
Mango juice is really good. I love mango juice. Cool. All right. And where are you from again?
I'm from Syria.
Syria. Okay. Cool. Cool. Nice to see you again. Vivian, nice to see you again.
Thank you. I'm from Brazil, and my favorite juice, I don't know how to say it in English also, but it's the juice that comes from the sugar cane.
Sugar.
El
I've had that.
guarapazo.
What is it?
We say caldo de
Guarapo de
cana.
caña.
Yes, caldo de cana.
Okay. Okay.
Happiness juice.
I think this is a typical Colombian drink. I think.
No, it's very Brazilian too. So
Brazilian? Oh, I
maybe
didn't
it's
know.
South America in
Those
general.
countries have the same juice. It is normal because there are many cane in Colombia and in Brazil.
In
Yeah.
Brazil.
Do you put a lime in it?
No.
No. Okay, because I've had that before when I was in Panama. We I was with
Oh
in a
yes,
village.
I saw that pictures where from you
Oh, you
on
did?
Panama.
I was
Yeah.
in your class also.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that was when they were making the sugar cane, and they took the juice out, and then they had us try it with the lime because it tasted better. I thought that might have been Warapo or the same thing, but I think probably
Yeah,
something different.
you can squeeze a lemon if you want.
Oh, a lemon too. Yeah. I think okay, yeah, I think that was it then. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I'm glad you guys are all here today. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about adjective clauses. So today I have a presentation for you guys, which will be available after the class. I'll put it on my Facebook page, but I'll also put it on the recorded class, which will be in the library. So you can click on that to go over it again. So, does anybody know what an adjective clause is, or can anybody give us an example or a definition? Any ideas? Nobody knows?
Well, I think an adjective is something to describe a noun or a person.
And then what's a clause? Do you know what a clause is? Anybody?
No.
Clause is extra information about what we describe.
Exactly. So, a sentence is like a complete thought, and a clause might be half of a sentence. Good. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, well, like I said, we're gonna go over this presentation, and then hopefully by the end you know what an adjective clause is and how to recognize them. Okay, so I'm gonna pull the presentation. Can everybody see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So usually with adjective clauses, you'll find these words. So they can be in questions with these words, but usually they're used to give extra information, as Mine said. So who, whom, which, that, whose, when, where. We use adjective clauses, also called relative clauses, to identify or give additional information about nouns. Perfect. People, places, or things. Who and whom are used only for people. Who is the subject of the clause. After who, you should see a verb. Whom is the object of the clause. After whom, you should see a subject, noun, pronoun. We're also going to go over examples, so because this may be a little confusing the way that it's worded, but after seeing the examples, it should be a little more clear. Sentences with adjective clauses can be seen as a combination of two sentences. I have a friend. She loves to shop. I have a friend who loves to shop. So notice how back here it said, after who you should see a verb. So if we look at the example, loves, that's a verb. So there it is. I have a friend who loves to shop. Because we're talking about, in this case, a girl. She. Here, who. So a few more examples. The man is playing baseball. The man is holding a bat. The man who is holding the bat is playing baseball. So the way that you can look at it is the man. So that's the subject. The man is a noun. So the reason this is called an adjective clause is because the man Then we have who's holding the bat. That whole thing is the clause, and it's an adjective because it's describing the man, because adjectives describe nouns. So you could say the man is playing baseball, but when we add in who is holding the bat, that's an adjective to better describe him, to give additional information. So that's how the adjective clauses work. Does anybody have a question about this? No? Okay. Okay, good. Okay, whom. So, here's an example of whom. I see the doctor in the room. The doctor is my father. The doctor whom you see in the room is my father. So, the doctor is being seen in the room, so that's why we have whom. Because there's no verb here. It's because whom you see, because you're seeing the doctor. So that's how you use whom. We'll see some more examples later on. Which is used only for things which can be both. Sorry.
Joe, one question. In the last example, you can use who.
No, in this one you can't. The doctor whom you see. Okay, so here's the thing. So English grammar, the reason that people say, oh, English is such a difficult language is because there are so many weird grammar rules, but so many native speakers don't follow them. Like, to be honest, if I were to say this sentence, I would use who. I would say, the doctor who you see in the room is my father. And that's just because when I was in school, we didn't learn these kind of things. We didn't learn when to use who versus whom. But technically, like, according to the grammar book, you're supposed to use who. This is kind of a bad example because I would probably use who here. The time where you might use whom is the jacket.
But we can say the doctor who is in the room is my father.
You could say that. Like, if you said that and you were asking me, does this sentence sound correct? I would say yes, because I've heard that before. Like, that sounds correct to me. But like, according to the rules, you're supposed to say whom for that case.
No, but if I say the doctor who is in the room, I mean the verb
Yeah, you could say that. The doctor who is, because is a verb. So the doctor who is in the room, because he's like, that's what he's doing. He's being in the room. So yeah, that's correct. Good question. Any other questions about that?
I think I got confused.
You got confused now?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back to who real quick. So, who is holding the bat? The man who is holding the bat. So if we go back to the rule, it says, who is the subject of the clause? So, back to here. Who is the subject in this sentence?
The man.
The man. Good, the man. So he is the subject. So, who is holding the bat refers to the subject. So that sentence, or that clause, refers to the man. So it's describing him. It's an adjective. And then it says after who, you should see a verb. So if we go back, is. That's part of the verb to be. So this is good. This is correct. Now if we look at whom is the object of the clause. So if we look at here, the doctor whom you see in the room is my father. So the doctor whom you see in the room. So right here we have the subject and the action, or the subject and the action. You are seen. So if we look at this part, it's just you see. And then the thing that you see is the object, and the thing that you see in this case is the doctor. That's why we have whom. So because you see, because it's not saying like the doctor sees, it's saying you see, and when you see, you're looking at an object, and in this case, it's the doctor.
In the second case, when you say the doctor you see, it's like I am the subject, and the doctor is the object.
Exactly. Perfect. Perfect. Good explanation. Does that make sense to
Thank you.
everybody? Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. We can go over. I think there are more. I'm pretty sure there are more examples in this PowerPoint to make it a little bit more clear, because that sentence kind of does make it difficult. Okay, which is used only for things which can be both subject and the object of the clause. So which? The telephone is in your room. The telephone is ringing. The telephone which is in your room is ringing. So here, which is used because it's both the subject and the clause. So the telephone is the subject, which is it's in your room, it's being in your room. And then it's also an object because it's the thing that's ringing. So it's the
Can you
object.
show us PowerPoint?
What was that?
Can you show us PowerPoint?
Oh yeah, can you not see?
I cannot see that.
Okay, never mind. I just realized that the camera's on my face. I didn't know. Nobody told me. Okay, thank you for asking that. Okay. Let's go back. Which is used for things which can be both subject and object of the clause. Okay. So this is what I was referring to. Which the telephone is in your room. The telephone is ringing. So here the telephone which is in your room is ringing. So here, this is kind of a bad example too, but the telephone is ringing. So the telephone is the subject here because it's ringing. It's doing the action. And then it's an object because it's in your room. It's the object in the room. So it's the object doing the ringing. So there it's both. That may be a little confusing, but like I said, we're going to go over some more examples. So a lot of people mix up that and what. That is used for both people and things, less formal than whom and which. That can be both subject and object of the clause. So that is used, it's used very often. I use that more than I don't even really use whom, and I use which sometimes. I use it when I'm writing a lot, but that is very common in spoken English. So that, I see the flowers. The flowers are in the pond. The flowers that you see are in the pond. I see the flowers that are in the pond. So there we have the flowers, which is a thing. It's a noun. And that you see. So you see. You are the subject here because you're doing the action. You see. And you're looking at flowers. So in this sentence, the flowers are an object. Same thing with here. I see the flowers. So there's the object. But the flowers that are in the pond. So they're the subject of this clause. So that is used because this noun, which is either the subject or the object of the clause. So the flowers that you see are in the pond. I see the flowers that are in the pond. So yeah, does that make sense? Are you guys confused by that one too?
I have a question actually.
Yes. Okay.
You combine those two sentences with that clause, but the first sentence you use subject you, the second sentence you use I. Why you change the subject I to you and then again you use I?
I think I didn't make this PowerPoint. I found it offline, but the reason that they did that was because, so let's say that me and you are talking. We're looking at this pond and we see the flowers. So I'm saying to you, the flowers that you see are in the pond. Then you say, I see the flowers that are in the pond. So it's just kind of like two people talking. Does that make sense?
But these two sentences is exactly the same meaning.
Yeah. Well, yes. They're explaining the same thing because it's like think of it as two different people talking. So I'm saying to you, the flowers that you see are in the pond. I say that to you. because we're both looking at the flowers, and I say, the flowers that you see are in the pond. Then you say back to me, I see the flowers that are in the pond. So it's two different people. Like, you could say, let's see, the lily pads that you see are in the pond. You can see the lily pads that are in the pond. Do you see the lily pads that are in the pond? So all those are like referring to the same thing. It's just different ways, and I'm using the same subject. I'm saying you. So the lily pads that you see are in the pond. You can see the lily pads that are in the pond. Do you see the lily pads that are in the pond?
Yeah, that is my point. You use always you.
Man who are talking with is married.
Wait, so does that answer your question or no? Are you saying why did I change it? Or like, are you confused? Because they're just two. They mean the same thing. It just depends on who the speaker is. That's why the subject changes from you to I.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of. Okay. Good. Okay. Whose. So this is one that I would use more often than whom. Whose is the possessive and is used for both people and things and must be followed by a noun. Whose plus noun can be subject or object. I heard the scientist whose work is attracting interest. So work, we're referring to the work that belongs to the scientist. I met the scientist whose work I admire. So those are two different ways. And in this one, I heard the scientist whose work is attracting me. So the work is the thing that's attracting interest to me. So here it's an object. I met the scientist whose work I admire. So there, you're saying that I admire the work. So there, I admire the work. So both of those are objects actually. So it's referring to the work as the object. So here, let's see an example. The girl is crying. Her cat is sick. The girl whose cat is sick is crying. So it's like what it is. It's an adjective clause. So it's an adjective because it's describing a little bit more about the girl. Because we could just say the girl is crying, but if we want to know a little bit more about the girl, then we can add the adjective clause, which is whose cat is sick. So we're adding two clauses together. This is a little bit confusing. The girl whose cat is sick is crying. So we're just combining two sentences, basically, two clauses, to make it into one sentence. So instead of saying just the girl is crying, or just instead of just saying the girl is crying, we're saying that she's crying basically because her cat is sick. So the girl whose cat is sick is crying. So you're going to hear this one more often than whom, or some of the others. You're going to want to know that and whose. Those ones are used fairly often.
Come on, guys.
Who muted me? Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know who muted me. So let's see. The verb in the adjective clause is singular if the subject relative clause refers to a singular noun. It is plural if it refers to a plural noun. Ben is my friend who lives in Boston. John and Alex are my friends who live in Boston. So Ben is my friend who lives in Boston. So here's the adjective clause. John and Alex are my friends who live in Boston. So notice how it changes. John and Alex are my friends who live in Boston. So notice how we have Ben is my friend who lives in Boston. John and Alex are my friends who live in Boston. So this is plural. Who still is who. The only thing that changed was the verb, because it has to agree with the noun or the subject. Sorry, the subject. So John and Alex live. Ben lives. So that's basically just what this sentence is saying. You need the subject and the verb to agree in an adjective clause. Okay. So the boy is my friend. He lives down the street. 2 news articles were written by my science professor. They appeared in the latest edition of Nova. The Japanese food is sashimi. Keith likes it best. So here, those are all 2 clauses that we're going to combine using an adjective clause. So the boy who lives down the street is my friend. 2 news articles which appeared in the latest edition of Nova were written by my science professor. So here we have like a person. That's why we use who. Here we have things, which is why we use which. The Japanese food that Keith likes best is sashimi. The Japanese food which Keith likes best is sashimi. So here you could use that or which, either one. Does anybody have any questions about these?
No.
No. Okay.
Very clear.
Yes. Question. Did somebody say something?
It is very clear, teacher.
Okay. Good. Yeah, this presentation is a little bit confusing at times, but after this presentation, we're going to go over a short quiz to clarify some things, because when you look at examples, that's when things are most clear, like these. So here we have some more. The people are very interesting. Maria works for them. The TV newscaster is on Channel 7. I trust her opinions most. So we're going to say, the people whom Maria works for are very interesting. The TV newscaster whose opinions I trust most is on Channel 7. So notice how whom is followed by Maria, which is a person. Whose is followed by things, which are opinions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Things, and then we have a person. So that's just a good rule of thumb. Whom with people, whose with things. That's how I remember them. So, okay. Who, whom, which, that can be the object of the preposition in its clause. If the preposition is at the beginning of the clause, whom or whom must be used. So let's see some examples. In formal English, we put the preposition at the beginning of the clause. Also, we use only whom, not who or that to refer to people. So that's just what I said. Which, not that, to refer to things. So which is used to refer to things. He's the writer who I work for. He's the writer for whom I work for. So either way, it's saying the same thing. But when you add in this preposition for, you need to say whom. That's just something that you're going to have to memorize. That's the book that I told you about. You could also say that's...
book.
Yeah?
About which I told you?
Yes, exactly. About which I told you. Perfect. I'm going to write that.
Which I told you.
Perfect. Exactly. Good job. Okay. Here we go. She's a scientist. We agree with her. She's a scientist whom we agree with. So it's kind of written backwards, but here's the preposition. That's why we have whom instead of who, even though we're referring to a person. She's a scientist with whom we agree. So it's another way to say it, where this is the way that it was talking about with the preposition in front. With whom, for whom, with whom. She has developed a theory which that we are interested in. Which or that. So she's developed a theory which we are interested in. She's developed a theory that we are interested in. In this case, you might hear that more often. She has developed a theory in which we are interested. Same thing, all mean the same thing, just different ways to say it. Where modifies the noun place. I want to know the name of the city where you were born. So here we're talking about a place. So that's why we use where. When modifies the noun time. So my friend wants to know when you were born. So we're talking about time here, so that's why we use when. Here, adjective clauses come in two types, restrictive, non-restrictive. This might confuse you guys a little, so I think I'm going to skip this part because I don't want to confuse you guys. Let's see, okay. Adjective phrases do not have a subject. Okay, so these are adjective phrases instead of adjective clauses. So adjective phrases do not have a subject and do not have a verb. They can only be formed from clauses with subject-relative pronouns. So they don't have a subject and they don't have a verb. So let's see. To change an adjective clause with be to an adjective phrase, delete the subject-relative pronoun in the form of be. So here's some examples. The book which is written in Spanish is difficult. The book written in Spanish is difficult. So there we took out, here's the be verb that I was talking about, and here's part of the adjective clause, which. So if we take that out, we take out is too, and then we just have the book written in Spanish is difficult. So that's a perfectly fine sentence. Any students who are in this class can learn to speak English. Any students in this class can learn to speak English. So same thing. Be, adjective clause, take it out, and perfectly fine. To form an adjective phrase with a verb other than be, so if it's not using be, delete the subject relative pronoun and change the verb to its present participle, which ends in ing. So that would look like this. The people who live in big cities often see new movies. People living in big cities often see new movies. So that's that. If an adjective clause is okay, so that's the thing we skipped. Okay, so that's it. So, does anybody have any questions or anything they'd like me to go back over before we go to the quiz?
The last two things, can you review one more time?
Yes, of course. Okay, so these are adjective phrases. So they do not have a subject and do not have a verb. They can only be formed from clauses with subject-relative pronouns. So, to change an adjective clause with be, we delete the subject-relative pronoun in the form of be. So here, the book which is written in Spanish is difficult. So the book written in Spanish is difficult. So does that make sense? Right there, do you have a question? Okay. So we're deleting this part right here. Okay, any students who are in this class can learn to speak English. Any students in this class, so like it said, there's no subject, there's no verb. It's just an adjective phrase. Any students in this class. It's just describing the students. And then if it's with a verb other than be, that's when we add ing. So people who live in big cities often see new memories. So people living. So living is just describing living in big cities. So this is just the adjective phrase. It's describing the people.
Why you use the living instead of who live?
Because of the rule.
Why you change the gerund form? The living is gerund here?
I don't know. It's called the present participle.
Present participle.
Yeah, present participle. So if we go back to right here, so we're trying to form an adjective phrase with a verb other than be. So live is a verb different from be. So what it tells us to do is delete the subject relative pronoun, which is the who, and change the verb to its present participle. So we have to change it to live. So another example might be kids who play on the field usually get dirty. So if we're gonna follow the rule and change it to an adjective clause. Yes, exactly. Kids playing on the field usually get dirty. Good, good, good. Perfect. Does that make sense? Good. Okay. Anything else you guys would like me to go over real quick while I have this presentation up? The whom was a little bit confusing. I rarely use that. I mean, most of the time you're just gonna use who.
I've always had problems with whom.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Whom is a little bit confusing, a little bit tricky. You might want to just like look at examples of when whom is used to see, because it's not used very often. I usually use who. I almost always use who, even when I'm writing too. I mean, I think I've only had a few times where my professor has changed something to who, because that's what, or whom, because that's what you're supposed to use. Okay. So now we're going to do a quiz. So
Janelle, don't be afraid.
yeah, it'll be easy. Don't worry. And you guys are all on the same team, so you're helping each other out. So here we go. So can everybody see this? Adjective clauses quiz 1.
It's too.
Yeah, but
no,
yeah.
no, it's
Now it's better.
Okay.
Yes, no.
Good. Okay. Adjective clauses quiz 1. Number 1. William C. Buckoff blank lives in North Dakota. A, B, C, or D? What do you guys think?
A.
B.
Good. Answer A. Uh-huh. Number 2. The car was not running blank. A, B, C, or D? The car was not running that surprised the mechanic.
B.
B.
Surprise. Yep, I think you're right. Yep. Uh-huh. Good. Number 3. Blank who visited our class last week.
B.
Jamilo.
D.
A.
Okay, so it looks like all of you guys have different answers. So
A.
So okay, so somebody who thinks that, did somebody say D? Or
Yeah,
what do you?
major.
Yeah, okay. And why do you think that it's D?
Because he talk about past, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's A.
Why do you think it's A?
Because who visited our class last week is describing the woman.
The grammar is correct. Como to the woman who visited our class last week.
Yes, exactly. So Tomohiro talked to the woman who visited our class last week. So here we have Tomilo talked to. So she's talking to somebody, which is the woman. And here, this adjective clause is describing the woman. So the reason that it's not this one is because I'm trying to think of when you would, but I think you're just going to use one adjective clause per sentence. Just it depends on the sentence, but in this case, if we were to say D, Tomohiro that talked to the woman who visited our class last week. That just, it sounds funny, like you can tell when you read it, it sounds funny. Yeah, good. A, yeah, okay. The movie blank was intriguing.
I had a question.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
If there was on letter C, if there was is between Tomohiro and talking. Would it be correct?
Would it be correct? Tomohiro is talking to the woman who visited our class last week. Yes, because it could be that, like, let's say me and you are sitting at a table and we see Tomohiro talking to somebody. Like, I might say, Tomohiro is talking to the woman who visited our class last week. Yep, that's good. Good question.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No. Okay. Number 4. The movie blank was intriguing.
That we saw last month.
That we saw.
Yes.
Yes. B. Good. Number 5. The Mariah Carey CD. A, B, C, or D?
Which we listen. D.
Which
That
we
we listen.
listen.
D, that we listened to was good, or A, which we listened to was good?
D.
A. D.
A and D. So, okay, so whoever said A, why do you think it's A?
Because which is described CD, we listened was good is the
And
other
makes sense.
complete sentence.
Yes, and then what about D? Somebody said D.
Yeah, both are correct.
A. So, you guys all think it's A.
Yeah, A. I will change to A.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to think what I would say. The Mariah Carey CD, which we listened to, was good. I think I would say which. I would probably say A. I think that you can also say D. Let's see what the answer says.
Both.
Oh, it says C.
To which.
To which we listen. Okay, the reason. Okay, I know why it's C. I mean, most people when we're talking, we're gonna say D or A, but this is another thing. Like, most people don't speak English correctly, even native speakers. The reason that it's to which we listen to is because listen to. That's the
Requires
verb.
a
Listen
preposition.
to. Yes, exactly. Listen to. You have to listen to something. So I guess we all missed that one. Oh well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you'll probably hear, like, most people wouldn't know that. Like, I'm a native speaker and I guessed A or D. So it honestly, I mean, if you want to be super correct, that's probably the one that you want to go with. And since you guys are all learning English as your second language, try and be as correct as possible because you're just going to sound better. Then you'll sound better than me one day. So just remember those. Try and be a grammar Nazi when you're learning languages. Okay, number 6. Blank whom I told Saleh about. This is the
D.
D.
D. This is the woman whom I told Saleh. Yes, D. Good. Number 7. It is important to read books.
That have a good plots.
A. Good. Yep. Number 8. We affirm the students' equal rights to their own patterns and varieties of language B, the dialects of their nurture or whatever dialects. So the first part is confusing.
I didn't get anything.
We affirm the students. Here, let me read it one more time. We affirm the students' equal rights is what it's supposed to say to their own patterns and varieties of language B. So let's just say English. Own patterns and varieties of English. The dialects of their nurture or whatever dialects. A, which they find their own identity and style. Dialects in that they find their own identity and style, which they find their own identity and style, or D, in which they find their own identity and style.
I think D.
You think D? Okay. D. Anybody else have a different answer? A, which they find their own. A, which, okay, so the dialects of their nurture, or whatever dialects which they find their own. Okay, which they find their own. I think A and C are the same thing. Yeah. Oh wait, no, in own. Okay,
Yeah,
I don't think it's.
preposition.
Yeah, C I think is definitely incorrect. A, B, or D. In which they find their own, and in that they find. I think it's either D or A. Which they find. Okay, let's see. I'm not 100% sure on this one. D. So in which.
Yay.
Yeah, good job whoever said D. That one was difficult though. We affirm the students' equal rights to their own patterns and varieties of English, the dialects of their nurture or whatever dialects in which they find their own identity and style.
My God, every time English is crazy.
Yeah, that one's a little bit difficult. Like even I struggled with that one. I'm a native speaker, so don't worry. It just comes with practice. Okay, number 9. Blank whom we spoke to at the English club party.
A.
A.
A. Good.
Yeah, this is A.
Uh-huh.
A.
Good. Number 10. The keys blank.
Which
D.
or that is
C.
possible.
C, C, C.
C.
C, D. Okay.
C.
The keys that are on the floor belong to
C.
Rai. The keys which?
No, that
Okay.
are.
The reason that it's not D is because this is for singular nouns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just realized that.
Yeah.
C.
Yes, that one was tricky. Yeah, C.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's correct.
Good. Number 11. Is Pupat the type of person?
A.
A.
A. Yeah, I think A is the only one that makes sense. Because here we don't even have a verb.
Yeah.
Whom extroverted around people, that doesn't make sense. Who are, that's plural. Whose is, this refers to possession. So it has to be A. Yep. Good. Okay, number 12. Blank that have been used to classify the many different kinds of rocks in the San Bernardino Mountains.
I would like to give you to the
A.
scientific names. C.
C.
Okay, C. Somebody said A?
C.
C.
Are they equal? Oh no,
Okay.
there's an S on the end.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's an S on the names.
Why you don't use or choose B? Because
I
we
would
don't
like-
use two.
Because you need to say like to. You need that preposition there. You need to say I would like to. You can't say I would like give you. Because you need this is the infinitive. I would like to eat. I would like to give. I would like to buy. You need the infinitive, which is to give. Good question. So yeah, what did we say? C?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Yes.
C.
That's the answer. Good job. Number 13. Professor Higgins is the type of professor.
Type of professor.
This one's a little
Two.
bit difficult.
I
Two.
think A.
A. Use two.
A. Professor Higgins is the type of professor to whom the others would consider exactly exciting. Which others wouldn't consider exactly exciting? Whom others wouldn't consider exactly exciting? Okay, this one's difficult. Professor Higgins is the type of
A or
person.
D?
B.
I think
Think
D.
is D.
I think D too.
You guys think D? Okay, so you're changing it. Why'd you change it?
I can't see what's requesting the preposition. Which word is
Yeah,
requesting
okay,
the
exactly, yeah. So 2, I don't think that there's any use for the preposition. Hold on, somebody is
You can use consider too.
consider 2. Well, hold on, let's think. Let's try and say it backwards. Professor Higgins is the type of professor, or others consider Professor Higgins boring, or others wouldn't consider Professor Higgins exactly exciting. So there, we know that we're not going to use to, because you wouldn't say others wouldn't consider to Professor Higgins exactly exciting. You would say consider exactly exciting. You don't need the to there. So that's how we can figure out that we don't need the to, by saying it backwards. Yep, so D. Good. Okay, 14. We all know that we often have times when many of us feel happy. So think of it as a parallel. So when I say that, think of it as in there's going to be a word that you need to use twice.
A.
A. Good. Why?
A.
Because it is parallel.
Ex-
Something
yeah,
like
exactly.
When many of us feel happy and other times when we feel sad.
Exactly.
because we talk about time.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about time. So we all know that we often have times when this and when blank. So both of those use when because they're referring to time, and the reason that we need when for the second one is because it has to be a parallel. We have to parallel them. We have to make them have the same format because if we were to take one out, then we would need when. So if we were to take out the first one, we might just say, we all know that we often have times when we feel sad. We all know that we often have times when many of us feel happy. So both of those you're going to use when. So that's why they have to parallel each other. So yeah, so it should be A. Good. Okay, number 15. Emmy feels shy, blank, where she doesn't know many people.
Emmy feels shy.
When she goes to
think it's
party.
D.
C. C.
C.
I think A.
A. Okay. Can somebody tell me why it's not A?
It's not A or A.
We need to use goes.
Exactly, exactly. That's why.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
It goes.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody else? Did somebody say B?
Emmy feels shy.
B, C,
We
or
need
D?
the connector.
C.
Yeah, we do need a connector.
ING.
Exactly.
D.
When
I
is our
think-
connector?
It's D.
Just the D.
Yep,
Yeah.
D.
Just the D.
Because we need this connector. Because if you say Emmy feels shy, she goes to a party. That sounds like two sentences. We don't have anything to connect them. So good job. Yeah, when she goes to a party. D. Good. Okay, 16. Blank Lake Arrowhead is a setting which can be quite adventurous to the tourists.
Locate. C.
A.
Yes, C.
C. C.
Did somebody say A?
Yes, me.
Why do you think it's A?
Because the mountain is located in the place, and then he explained the lake.
Okay, so here, if it were A, located in the San Bernardino Mountains, Lake Arrowhead is its setting. So right here, it's saying this. So remember, we're working on adjective clauses. So this is going to describe Lake Arrowhead. So it's saying that Lake Arrowhead is located in the San Bernardino Mountains. Now, somebody said, you guys are saying C. It is located in the San Bernardino Mountains. Lake Arrowhead is a setting which can be quite adventurous to the tourists. Now, to me, that sounds like two sentences.
No,
So-
see, because we cannot use it is located because we don't know what is located.
You're right, exactly. So this sentence would have to be after. So
Yeah.
the only way we could use C would be if we took out the line and we said Lake Arrowhead is a setting which can be quite adventurous to the tourist. It is located in the San Bernardino Mountains. So that's how we know it can't be C. So what do you guys? So we have A, B, and D. What do you guys think?
I think A.
A.
A. Anybody else disagree?
B.
You think B?
B.
I'm with C, I think.
C. Okay. Well, it can't be C because that would have to be afterwards.
I
So
think
A. Is that what you guys?
the problem is in the past.
For which one?
For A, located in the past.
Well, you can use it's not necessary. It's saying it's like a located is like an adjective because you could say like Lake. You could say Lake Arrowhead is located in the San Bernardino Mountains. That's correct because is located. I know because yeah, that does look like past tense because you would add ed.
But and then D also it's correct to located in the San Bernardo Mountains.
But for that, to
What
locate.
is the... Yeah?
So, okay, to locate in the San Bernardino Mountains. That kind of sounds funny. To locate in. So you might say, to locate Lake Arrowhead, you can find it in the San. So you wouldn't have it followed by to locate in.
Is the action.
Exactly, to locate in. You couldn't say to locate in. You would say like to locate Lake Arrowhead. It is in the San Bernardino Mountains. Because to locate in the San Bernardino Mountains, because that just sounds funny because you're missing words or you need to take out words. So you would say like Lake Arrowhead is located in the San Bernardino Mountains. Or to locate Lake Arrowhead, you need to go to the San Bernardino Mountains. So what do you guys think this one is?
I think A.
A. Yes. Because the reason you know that is because, so if you read this, you know that we're talking about Lake Arrowhead. So what you can do is take off this first part and add it to the front of this. Lake Arrowhead is located in the San Bernardino Mountains.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's why we have a comma after that.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Good. 17. Blank in which there is a non-threatening and relaxing atmosphere.
What? The first meaning, we don't know the meaning.
I said C.
Some ESL students learn better in situations in which there is a... Do you guys agree with her?
What she said?
C.
She said
C.
Better in the situation.
Yes, that is correct. Some ESL students learn better in situations in which there's a non-threatening and relaxing atmosphere. So the reason that it's not A is because some ESL students learns. So
yeah, we must
that is, that's incorrect because subject and the verb do not agree. B, some ESL student learn better.
Yeah.
So some, it needs, since we're saying some, it's more than one, so we need more than one for the student. And then here you're going to say, you always put learn better, play better, better goes after. So yeah, C, good. Okay, let's do this last one. The Higashis are the couple blank. So think of the verb in this one. If you look at the verb, this is going to help you figure out which is the correct answer.
I think D.
Why do you think D?
Because we use
Negotiation.
which the.
Okay, you're close. But
No, I think
remember, which is used with what? Is it used with people or things?
I
Things.
think A.
Things.
I think
Exactly,
A.
so A. Because the reason that it's A is because we know whom, because we're referring to people. The Higashis, they're people. And then with, we need that because you negotiate with.
Negotiate, use the with.
Yeah, like
For
I need to
preposition?
negotiate. Yeah, I need to negotiate with my mom to figure out this or that. I need to negotiate with my dad to be able to go skiing or something like that.
I see.
Yeah.
But negotiation doesn't take two preposition, am I right?
Yeah, you're right because negotiation is the
To
noun.
someone also.
Yeah, like a negotiation, like I have a negotiation with, well, actually that does have the preposition with, because you would say like negotiation with someone. Like I have a negotiation, you could say we have a negotiation to practice English 1 time per week. So there you don't have the preposition because it's like me and you have this negotiation. But if you're telling somebody about a negotiation you have with somebody else, then you need with, because you're saying, I have a negotiation with so-and-so.
Okay, got it.
Good question. Any other questions? No. Okay. I'm going to. I'll post the presentation, with the recorded video. So if you guys need to look at it, you can look at it again. Then I'll also post it on my Facebook page. I hope this helps you guys. If you guys have any recommendations, like if something was confusing and you have a question, you can message me or write on my wall, on my Facebook page, and I can answer it for you. Or if there's something you'd like me to teach in the future, you can suggest it to me. Or if something, like if you didn't like the way that I taught this class and you think that there's a way I could do it better, please contact me through my Facebook page and let me know, because I'm just trying to make these better and clear for you, because since I'm a native speaker, I don't know like the best ways for you guys to understand things, because I understand them differently than you guys. So I'm just trying to help you guys understand these. But I hope this helped, and thank you guys for coming, and
Thank you,
I hope
Joy.
you guys have a good weekend.
Okay.
Yes,
You too, Joy.
Alright, thanks
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.